So lonely.
All right, all right, all right. Welcome in, everybody. Here we go. We are in the semifinals of the APAI tournament. We have BR1 and OPBHB today on, you guessed it, Hurtgen Forest, our favorite place to play. So, quick recap of things have gone so far. Down below me, you see there we got stats. BR1 ended second in their pool play with 3 victories and 1 loss, and OPBHB came in first in their group, in Group A, with 3 wins and 1 loss. So we have 2 teams. The only difference that we have statistic-wise is we're looking at capture points, where BR1 has 11 and OPBHB has 14. However, as you guys have seen over the last few weeks, BR1 has been on Scar quite a bit. I've been fighting on Scar and Hurtgen quite a bit. It's hard to get extra points on that map. It's hard to get past that midpoint, so that could be disguising a little bit and a little bit misleading when you look at capture points. Earlier this weekend, we had GBI and FOCU play the second in Group A and and first in our group, which was FOCU. FOCU lost 5-0, so GBI is going to the championship from their side, and then whoever wins this match is going to be heading to the championship to face them. So we will see if BR1 is able to pull it out, or if OPBHB is going to come in and assert their dominance like they did in Group A and come out on top and go to the championship of the APA. So today, Hurtgen Forest, as I said, we're going to be back on home field advantage for BR1. Have not seen OPBHB yet. Do not know if they played this map much or how they play it. Shammer, I know they're going to be pretty similar to what we've seen in the past, but what are your keys to the game?
Well, Amador, it seems like just about every week me and you are here, and it's a Hurtgen map. What I'm going to be looking for today is going to be armor play. I think it's going to become a bigger factor than most, considering this is metal play now. I'm looking for BR1 to be, extremely aggressive with their armor play, knowing that in the past, the defensive teams, the Germans, have historically pulled up Panthers in the beginning. I'm also looking forward towards BR1's guys on the AT side as well. I'll look for those guys to swarm the tanks and also, hit some long distance shots. And then I'm also looking for the garrison placement. BR1 historically the last couple of weeks has struggled a little bit getting garrisons down. I'm going to assume that they've probably addressed that in the couple weeks of practice. So look for that to improve this week as well.
All right, so you have tanking, anti-armor, and garrison placement as your keys to the game. My keys to the game today, I'm going to be a little bit different after watching our last match. I think flexibility is going to be key for both sides. Now, obviously, we know more about BR1 than OPHB, and so I'll use BR1 as an example, but they were very linear in their thinking last match, in my opinion, when they're up at North Pass, struggling to take that and hold it. They weren't using their flex squads and changing squad priorities, in my opinion, as quickly as they should have. So we'll see how they address that. So flexibility from their squads, especially assault squads, not always going to the same area, looking for those different avenues of approach and attack vectors. Second, armor play, but I'm going to put a caveat on that. Not using armor as a mobile gun as much as we have seen last match. That definitely hurt BR1 as their armor pieces were getting taken out by the German pieces a lot quicker. So I want to see a little bit more movement out of the BR1 armor. See if they run multiple armor squads or if they're just going to run one. I want to see some fully armed tanks. I want to see what they can do. Get out there. Use some flanking maneuvers. Get out there and hit those Panthers and those Tigers in the sides and take them out. My third key to the game is going to be artillery today. North Pass Scar. Both of those, as we know, very apt to artillery. And the Scar a little bit less so than North Pass, just because of not as many trenches, more open top buildings. However, you do have buildings to cover in. Scar, more trenches and bunkers, but the artillery can control both sides of the river, looking at that opening from the German approach and that hillside coming down from the Allied approach. Very open to artillery attack. I want to see artillery do what they can there. I think artillery is going to be a key to the game. I'm not even going to talk about the southern point because honestly, with the luck that we've seen on this map, it's not going to be down there. So, two very good teams going at it today. OP BHB, like I said, they won their pool play with 3-1 with 14 capture points. So they are a good team. This will be a battle. My prediction, just based off record, is I have not seen them play. My prediction, this is going to be a 3-2 either way. I don't know who's going to take it, but it's going to be a 3-2. I don't think we're going to see a 5-0 or a 4-1. I think this is going to be a dogfight over the middle like we've seen in every Hurtgen match that BR1's been a part of. How about you, Shammer?
Yeah, I'm going to say 3-2 as well, Mador. Look for BR1 to pull out that nice little offensive tactic of sending, a squad or two to the other objective to pull some of that pressure off of the middle point like they have been pulling the last couple of weeks. I think that's going to be a big factor here, so I'm going 3-2 all the way as well.
All right. Do you have a favorite, or do you have just dogfight? It can go either way.
I'm going to say whoever holds the point with 45 minutes left in the match, I think that's going to be the one who takes it.
All right, so that's what we'll be looking for at 45 minutes of the match. Halfway through, we will see who holds that middle point. If that middle point is BR1 and we think BR1's going to win, I agree with you. I think 45 minutes is that key tipping point. I think fatigue starts to set in, and I think by that point, tunnel vision is set in a little bit as well when it comes to armor. So you're not going to see as crazy of armor play since they're attacking the same point over and over and over again. So 45 minutes, whoever holds it, BR1 or OPHB, is going to be the victor and go to the championship to face GBI. Now, if it is BR1 that pulls it out, you will see Shammer and myself next week for the championship. If it is not, I want to thank you beforehand. Thank you for everyone who's been watching the streams, especially the BR1 faithful, and then all the visiting guys, all the fans of the other teams who jumped in. Really appreciate it. Stay tuned. BR1, if you become a fan, we'll be jumping into more tournaments here in the future. Jump into the Discord, and you'll hear about what tournaments are coming up. I believe APA will be going again next year. I don't know if there's going to be a summer iteration of it, but stay tuned. I'm sure if there is, BR1 is going to want to be a part of it, as I know we've had a good time. It has been a fantastic experience for the comp team and for the shoutcasting team here, so thank you, APA, for setting it up. Thank you for having us. And, of course, again, to the fans, thank you so much for being a part of this. This is not possible without you guys coming in and helping out and getting everybody into the games and watching everything. So right now, we are just waiting on map flip. We have everybody, it appears, that needs to be in the game. So once map flip comes, we will be going, and I will keep you informed. Shammer, any words heading into the match for anybody?
With the map flip coming up, if it's Scar, look for that dogfight. We've seen North Pass so far. We haven't seen the bottom side of the map yet. So keep an eye out for that. If it's North Pass, look for BR1 to, work that hill again in the woods. Look for them, trying to use that that what they call their mobility offense. Watch for that to come and play. But also at the same time, watch on how they react to the defensive pressure, because we might have a situation here where BR1 might have to pull a squad or two back to defense, and it's going to be kind of curious to see how they react to that and how quickly they can get pressure back on the point again.
Yeah, and you mentioned it earlier as well. Seeing how these teams are going to force those assets away from the point. You brought up with BR1 pushing their assault and their flex squad up to pull. We saw it in the very first match there at Salient 42 when they did a fantastic job of pulling multiple. I think that at one point they had 14 or something like that enemy assets up at Salient, and they were holding that with a squad and a half. So that is going to be very important for BR1 to keep the pressure off their defense. And it's the same for OPBHB as well. Keeping pressure on the attacking point to force assets to stay there so they don't push to the next point. That's what's going to be key. The one benefit of Hurtgen is there's not a lot of quick movement. And there we go. We have the map flip. We will be going live here in a second. But to finish my thought, there's not a lot of quick movement. You're not going to see squads being able to blitz through a point to get to where they need to be, just because of the way that the map is designed. There's no way, like in other maps, for them to be able to get through different points quickly. And that is why we've seen a lot of 3-2s. Because they don't have that opportunity to push through really quick. So flipping to live here, and we will show you the map. And Shammer, you called it beforehand. We're going reserve station, Call Trail, North Pass, Hill 15, Grasshour Approach. So we will see how this goes for BR1 and OPBHB. Just on the outlook, looking at defense, BR1 has a slight advantage because there is a much larger gap between North Pass and Call Trail than North Pass and Hill 15. However, if OPBHB plays it right, they can funnel BR1's assault through that valley between North Pass and Hill 15 and cut them down. That is a very dangerous approach, and if played right, can be very valuable to the defensive units there. So we will see how that goes for them. BR1, Call Trail Reserve Station there on the back end. They have that nice gap between middle and second point. But then it's a straight shot downhill and through roads from Call Trail to Reserve Station. So if Call Trail gets taken, their defense is going to have to flip back to reserve very quickly. Call Trail has that bunker approach on the top side there. That's going to be really difficult as well to defend. We will see how BR1 does it. We have 45 seconds until match goes. I am excited to see how everything comes out on this. Semifinals, APAI, BR1 versus OPBHB. Starting in 30 seconds. Again, Reserve Station, Call Trail, North Pass, Hill 15, and Grasshour. As we can see, BR1 is stacked up on the waiting line. I would imagine that OPBHB is doing the same. We can see him slightly in the distance there. So here we go. 8 seconds till the semifinals kick off. Thank you for joining us. And here we go. 2-1 matches now live. And we will see how each team approaches North Pass. We saw what BR1 did last week or 2 weeks ago. I can already hear artillery firing. We'll see how OPBHB is going to approach this. As we can see a supply truck and a troop transport coming straight down the road for OPBHB. Transport up at Hill 15 as well. As we come over to the BR1 side, we got multiple up there on the hillside. We have BR1 dumping out as we already have fire coming across. As we see, OPBHB is getting on that important side of North Pass, up into villages and up into hillside, forcing BR1 to have to fight their way through. They have started to cap. However, BR1 is countered to cap with bodies, so they are currently capping the point. Now OPBHB is turning around. I thought I saw some armor. I hear armor. There we go. Here comes the Lux for OPBHB, giving their boys a little bit of armor support on point. As we can see, BR1 spreading very well throughout the hillside and getting into the village. Right there, we will see if they're able to dislodge OPBHB from their point. As OPBHB is still capping, they are almost halfway there. As we do see here, just like last week or last match, BR1 getting bodies across, and we have a very strong presence on the other side of the river here as BR1 is pushing into this bunker complex. As we can see, BR1 as well just piling bodies on point, and because they have this numerical advantage, they are starting to cap. It has been contested back in OPBHB. However, this is going to be a dogfight for this, as both teams have learned in the past where to go from watching film and lots of practice. So BR1 spreading out very well across, as there was a nice rocket to take out a truck by OPHB. Great machine gun position there, providing by Spec, providing really good cover fire over that bridge, pinning heads down, preventing BR1 from pushing in that direction. OPHB is about a 2/3 capped on North Pass right now, as BR1 is trying to get bodies into that point. But OPBHB did exactly what they needed to do to get across that bridge, eliminate that pinch point, and get what they need done down there, as they are continuing to cap, as BR1's push is getting slogged down, as we are watching here. We also have armor from OPBHB from the backside providing cover fire, as well as that artillery, as OPBHB is almost capped North Pass. They are about to cap it right now, as we can see them spreading out throughout the village. And there it is. OPBHB has a first point at a match. They have capped, and they have already started capping in the rear. Let's get over to Call Trail and see what's going on, see where they're placed. As we can see, one OPBHB member over, starting to cap. There's another one coming from the factory. BR1's going to have to get their defense back on this point, as artillery is now starting to fire on Call Trail, as BR1 I would imagine, is redeploying to push their bodies onto this point. However, we have a squad leader here as well for OPBHB to get an OP down. BR1 is capping now, as they have a full squad of defense spawning. Now they're going to have to push in and clear them out. We're going to let defense do their thing. We're going to get back over to North Pass, as that's where most of the fighting is at. As we can see, OPBHB is now pushing out of the village to clear BR1 off of this hillside. As we have Satchel going down for BR1, and Peace Officer as well goes down to Small Sweat and Aragon. So OPBHB pulling a little bit different tactic than we saw last time we played North Pass, by pushing out of the village, which is a great tactic. It prevents artillery and bombing runs from doing a lot of damage. However, it does look like they might have overextended themselves, as BR1 has started to cap. It has just been countered. BR1 is now continuing to cap, as we do have one lone BR1 member in the hard cap, Bon Yarker, hanging out in those destroyed buildings, keeping the pressure on, as a flank from BR1 over on the opposite side of the bunker complex is coming to fruition here, because they're getting more bodies into four squares. They are applying that cap pressure, as they are about a quarter way capped. But this unit here from OPHB that is pushing the that hillside, is holding a very strategic point. That was a great artillery shell by OPBHB to take out a BR1 member and possibly an OP. But they are holding down a critical point there that is preventing BR1 from getting up and over the hill as they like. That was a great rocket there from OPBHB as well to hit that BR1 armor unit. As OPHB, with a great spawn, has now started to take back North Pass, and Call Trail, as well as we come on back, is falling to OPBHB, as BR1 defense is trying to get down into the hard point and prevent this. With 3 OPHB members, BR1 is recapping, as their defense is getting where they need to be. And it does appear that OPBHB is almost fully recaptured North Pass. As we just take a look here with BR1 pushing from the southwest, trying to get on point, which is a different vector than they used last week. They have countered. They've just been countered as well. OPHB doing a great job staying in that hard cap. As over on Call Trail is being capped again, we will jump over there if it gets to about a third capped, as we're going to watch the BR1 assault here on North Pass. As you can see, OPBHB has collapsed down more into the villages now. They are not extending as far out. They are extending a little bit more over here onto the West Hill, because BR1 did like to use that a couple weeks ago. But as we can see, BR1 is using the attack vector almost directly south, trying to push down that river road, down those burned out trees to get the advantage. And now Call Trail is about a third capped, and it is falling still, as we can see 3 OPBHB members getting themselves into the hard cap, putting this cap pressure on, making the BR1 defense work for this. We see CPAC there trying to find like 50. And Sea Green there as well, trying to push in. CPAC goes down to like 50. It appears that OPBHB has really good positioning here on Call Trail. They have put themselves in very good defensible positions with a lot of cover. So it's going to be difficult for them to be pushed out. BR1 is going to have to get some support from that artillery down here, as we see like 50 making a move, trying to find Leon Thotsky or Sea Green, as BR1 is slowly recapping this point. But if they're going to want to contain this point and keep OPBHB from being a thorn in their side, they are going to have to eliminate these 3 members, as we can see like 50 in a great little bunker right there. Alex Scrubs and Braised Count not firing, staying in position, not exposing themselves. You see Alex push up a little bit, trying to find a better position as the BR1 defense is coming down the hill slowly, not rushing it. They have the point. They're not too worried about it. As one OPBHB member goes down, as we see, he was pushing up to get a better position. BR1 has control of this point. As we can see, OPBHB is spread out. We got a squad leader moving through trenches to the west. Another member out there to the west. So good job by OPBHB creating a large front and making the defense rotate. We are going to fall back over to North Pass now, take a look at what's going on, see how the assault and defense is progressing. As we can see, BR1 is attempting to stream into village here. But as we can see, OPBHB has cleared off that bunker complex in the hills, which is going to be key for them, because the BR1 assault squads like to move up that way. As we see Call Trail falling again, we will jump up there. Like I said, again, if we're near a third to a half capped in OPBHB's favor, as we can see BR1 really attempting to get in here. They have contested it multiple times. They've just contested it again. OPBHB doing a great job finding their defensible locations and staying within cover on both sides, up on Con Trail and down here at North Pass, making BR1 really work for it, really trying to force those one-on-ones, which they feel confident in being able to win. So we will see how that works out for him. So Shammer, we're almost 15 minutes in. What are your thoughts? Or 10 minutes? Yeah, 15 minutes in. What are your thoughts?
Well, it kind of seems like BR1, they came in a little hot. OPBH, kind of, put the brakes on them a little bit by forcing them to pull back a little bit. But, it looks like BR1's, kind of regrouping a little bit. OPBH is preventing that hillside maneuver that BR1 loves to do, which is kind of, the difference as of right now.
I will say, yeah, they are preventing that approach, but BR1 is doing a good job coming in from the south, as we see the Puma for OPBHB coming across the river now. We will see how that works out for him, see if he's trying to clear or if he's going to try to work his way up to Call Trail. And earlier I did show OPBHB did have a Panther in the far back on Hill 15 providing long cover. But here we have Black and Dust and Madcap right next to each other. And that MG from inside that little spot, I'm going to come down and show it to you. This blown out bunker, that's a great position for an MG. Hard to take out. You're basically going to need a marksman there. So fantastic positioning by OPHB, knowing that angle. Black and Dust was taken down. BR1 is really trying to work and find a good attack vector. We're going to take a look at the map and see what they're doing. As you can see, BR1 is really trying to work from that south angle. But a positive note on the BR1 side is they are getting into the village, which they were having trouble with last match at North Pass. But again, OPBHB doing a fantastic job of defending those pushes from this northern hillside, which is where, as you mentioned, Chamber, BR1 does like to push from. But it does look like to me that BR1 is setting themselves up for a push as they are staging on the southwest hillside, while they also have a unit in town. We will see what comes of it. We are going to come on over to Call Trail and see how this is going as we have armor marks going down. As we do have a Sherman and that Greyhound fighting it out right here. The Sherman taking some hits. Greyhound doing a great job of using his maneuverability to move around that Sherman, and now he's heading off to North Pass, it appears. Call Trail looks all but clear of OPBHB members. So BR1 defense did what they need to do. We do have one squad leader here. It's squad leader on squad leader, Leon Thotsky versus Leaps. We will see how this works out, see who takes this. It looks like Leon is not even looking the right direction as Peeps is pushing, is just hanging out, keeping an eye. Yeah, Peeps had that angle the entire time. He knew where he was coming from. Great job by Peeps there. As BR1 now is trying to get back to this hillside, trying to stage an assault from all angles, really. Looking from the hillside to the river to the bunker complex. As the BR1 force that was in North Pass is getting taken out by a OPBHB squad that is moving around, being more aggressive, trying to clear it out. So great job by those defenders on getting around, being mobile, flexible, and pushing out where they need to. BR1 had a spawn on an OP. It looks like squad leader is still up. They were able to take out one OPBHB member within town here. And this squad is led. Squad leader just went down, but we will see if they get another spawn. As OPHB is trying to move to take out that OP wherever it was. It may have already been taken out. But BR1, as we can see, is staging to push. But OPBHB is not giving BR1 this southern approach. They are doing a very good job of defending the bunker complex up here and the hillside woods. BR1's going to have to find a different vector to try to push in. They are slowly getting contests here and there. So they are getting numbers, but what they really need to do is get in and clear out the garrisons and the OPs from OPBHB so they are able to prevent those spawns. As BR1 has slowly started cap with a numerical advantage, it has just been countered. BR1 maintaining cap pressure now. They are slowly capping. An hour and 11 minutes left in the match. OPBHB has countered that. They are now retaking. This is going to be a back and forth dogfight as we were talking about before. BR1 now has the advantage. They're trying to exert their dominance here, but if they're going to do so, they're going to have to clear out this western hillside, which they are slowly attempting to do. And they're going to have to push in from that bunker complex. They're capping now. They're almost to a quarter. BR1 doing a great job of being persistent. OPHB is losing that hillside now. As we take a look, there's 2 BR1 to 1 OPBHB over there on the hillside. We'll see if BR1 is able to remove that threat. As now OPBHB is coming in behind that bunker complex, trying to prevent BR1 from pushing down. Great reaction from their defense. As we can see OPBHB streaming back into the point, getting bodies where they need to be as they are recapping a point since they have control of the hard point. BR1, however, does have a lot of bodies around. There, a OP goes down in the rear along the riverside. BR1 has the bodies. OPBHB has a hard point. BR1's going to have to move into town. They're going to have to dislodge these OPBHB defenders. Are doing such a good job holding the key points within this area. As we see that MG for OPBHB getting back in that blown out bunker across the river there, bottom left of the screen. That is such a great position. As I was talking about earlier, a very clear view of one of the roadways and that bridge, which works as a choke point. OPBHB has full control of North Pass as of now, as BR1 is trying to push their way in. OPBHB doing a great job still. I thought they were going to lose it, but they're doing a great job holding that hillside there, as BR1 has a full squad dedicated in that area to try to get up and remove that, as we do have a set of German supplies go down. OPBHB trying to get supplies down to get possibly a defensive OP, as the Sherman is moving right up on it. BR1 has slowly started a cap again on North Pass. But I believe once OPBHB gets a spawn back there in the hard cap on wherever that garrison of theirs is at, they're going to counter. I do not believe BR1 has had a chance to take that out yet.
Now, this is very reminiscent of 2 weeks ago, where BR1 just had a heck of a time with their gunplay. It seems like they've worked on that a little bit over the break. It seems like they're winning a little bit more gun battles compared to 2 weeks ago. So that's going to be a little bit of a factor coming forward. But as you're playing out, every time they got to get that garrison out of there at some point, because every single time OBPH spawns, they're losing that cap port every single time.
Yes, they are. And it looks like BR1 has taken their hillside that they like to use. There's a full squad pushing that way. And OPBHB doing a great job of long range AT. One just got taken down, but he got a couple shots into that Sherman, which is hurting. But as you can see below me, BR1 getting a couple really nice spawns there. BR1 controlling that hillside. However, OPBHB with their garrison on hard cap, every time they spawn, they are contesting and recapping. And this battle up here on the hillside is very important as well, because this is within cap pressure. So every BR1 member that goes down is reducing how much pressure they can apply. As that entire squad goes down, OPBHB doing a really, really good job of holding the bunker complex. And BR1 struggling to get into point, as the Sherman is taking multiple hits. The infantry is going to have to give them some support if they want to keep that Sherman in the battle. But what they are doing is that Sherman, the armor units, and there goes a Sherman right there. The armor units for BR1 are doing a much better job of being mobile. It is putting them at a disadvantage, but while they are alive, they're having a much larger impact than they have had in the past. There's a big spawn by BR1. Assault forces right there. Now they're gonna have to push up and prevent that, as we are gonna try to identify the spawn point that OPBHB is using. I thought it was down here. I do not see it. There it is. Oh, there's an OP there. I do not know where their garrison is. If they have, as I'm speaking, there it is. We've seen garrison placements there before on the backside of that warehouse, so that is a very valuable spot, as OPHB has pushed BR1 completely off of the eastern side of the river. Great job by that defensive unit by OPHB, and there goes a bombing run. I imagine that's a BR1 bombing run, as it took out a large number of OPHB defenders. And now it does appear that BR1 is starting to push in after that bombing run. We will see how that works for them. Tranic is the commander for BR1. Do not know who the commander for OPBHB is. We've seen Tranic command before. He does a very good job. Now it's up to BR1 Assault. They are attempting here, as we see, to push across the river and come up from the south, keeping even pressure along the lines and not grouping up. OPBHB, there it is. Panther with great sight lines of the village, providing overwatch for OPBHB. And BR1's pushes into North Pass are being stalled by the great positioning of the OPBHB defense and just the openness of the ground that the attackers have to push from. That is the name of the game when it comes to North Pass. And Scar is, there's just so much open ground that has to be pushed across, as OPHB is pushing back up into the western hills there, trying to retake it.
Keep in mind, Matador, that Panther's been free firing the whole time and hasn't gone down. So pretty soon what's going to happen is that tank's going to have a dilemma. Is it going to be aggressive, or is it going to go back for a refit on ammo? During that time, I believe BR1's going to make a big push where it's not going to have to do with that contest with that armor. Well, it goes back to refit for ammo.
That is very true. That Panther has been firing quite a few rounds. We will see what happens when it either pushes in to use its machine guns or if it retreats back. OPBHB really trying to push into the western hills again to hold that, while BR1 assault forces are being stalled out by the very few defenders that OPBHB has here. They're doing a fantastic job, as we can see BR1 assault forces spreading all throughout this line. They have started a cap by numbers alone. However, OPBHB did start a cap on call, or did contest call for a second. Now BR1 is trying to push back in. OPBHB recapping what they lost in those few seconds. BR1 is contesting North Trail or North Pass again, and Call Trail is getting contested. Call Trail is falling, while OPBHB is maintaining control of North Pass. What we talked about earlier, Shammer, about pulling assets, OPBHB is doing a fantastic job of pulling assets off the attack here by keeping one or two members back and harassing Call Trail. Because every time that BR1 pushes units forward to North Pass and off of defense, they start to lose Call Trail, because there's 1, 2, or 3 OPBHB members. And let's just take a quick look back here at the rarely shown artillery assault. As we can see, OPBHB has 2 marksmen and 1 spotter back, keeping BR1 off the guns. As Major Oinky and Gerbear are back here, they are wanting to get into their armor to push up. But OPBHB doing a really good job of preventing that, and preventing BR1 from getting onto guns, which is a large detriment, as one of OPBHB goes down, and there goes Gerbear. So that is why the guns right now for BR1 are silent. OPBHB doing a great job of keeping them off the guns, as it is only the spotter left. There's the other spotter there in the back. We are now going to come back up to the fight, because It's not as exciting. In the back, as we can see, BR1 pushing through the Western Hills, really trying to take those positions. We have Axis supplies going down. Those will be taken out by BR1. As it's falling right in the middle of a squad. OP BHB, I can't say enough about their defense. They're doing such a fantastic job with small numbers of holding BR1 off. And here's that fight again. That MG across the way really helping out OPBHB, holding this western hillside as he cuts down 2. There is the BR1 marksman here. The Bilbo. We'll see if he's able to take out that machine gunner eventually, as that is going to have to happen if BR1 is going to use that western hillside to push into North Pass. We are 30 minutes in. Current score, OPBHB 3, BR1 2. 15 minutes until the prediction of myself and Shammer to see who will win the match, as whoever's going to hold North Pass at 45 is going to be the victor. However, we do have Call Trail again falling, as there are no BR1 defenders. And it is that Puma there on the point there, about a quarter capped, with a squad leader, a OPBHB squad leader looking for a garrison, looking for an OP, trying to figure out where BR1's going to spawn from. As OPBHB is doing this, keeping this pressure on with a Puma and 2 squad leaders. As we do have an airhead, it appears, going down for OPBHB. BR1 is going to have to take that out, but that is going to be protected by the Puma. This could be a key moment for the defensive Call Trail, as a fantastic rocket shot takes out the Puma. That was Bon Yarker doing a fantastic job there on defense, as that airhead now has gone down. We will see if Shorzy able. Shorzy, CPAC, Bon Yarker all collapsing on it to prevent this spawn. We will see if they are able to get it. They are able to get it with a grenade in time. BR1 has held Call Trail. They have cleared out any remnants of defense, as we do have OPBHB supplies going down in the rear. We will see if those are countered as well in the future as we come back to the action of North Pass. BR1 coming up from the south again, working their way into these hills, using that vector. OPBHB controlling town, and they have pushed through and over the Western Hills. They have now in the logging compound. BR1 is really going to have to get in here and dislodge them if they want to have any hope of using a Western Hill. As one BR1 member goes down, as a Kid is down there, takes out 1. Satchel's trying to take out, I believe, a garrison. He might have gotten it. I was not able to see as Satchel goes down. Now it is only God Emperor working on Dark Times. Dark Times takes him down. OPBHB holding a very strategic point there. That is cutting off the entire western approach for BR1 as they try to push. That is limiting their attack vector. So we will see how BR1 decides to handle that. BR1 does have a squad spawning over there, so it does look like they're going to try to get in there and clear them out. So far, OPBHB has a very, very good handle on North Pass. It is a very hard point to take once you lose it. So we will see if BR1 is up to the task and if they are able to get in there. But by OPBHB pushing out, taking out an entire spawn of BR1 there, OPBHB has positioned themselves very well. As Bobo the Monk goes down as well. OPBHB has positioned themselves very well to prevent any assaults from BR1 from coming from this western approach. So great job by those defenses. We can see the BR1 assault forces moving a little bit more to the east as they're still trying to take control of this bunker complex up top. As we can see, BR1 is starting to use flares. They've used a few this round, which we have not seen in the past. So BR1 trying to maintain that advantage.
And it's actually a real smart idea what they're doing right now, Matador. What they're doing is not only are changing their vector, they're coming from a deeper end, essentially negating that hillside clamp by OP BHP right now. Because when you come from that back side and you're able to force your way up, that tank is almost gone on ammo at this point. So if you could come in from the rear completely, and you can cut off that bridge right there, by coming in from the rear like that, not only now are you forcing the enemy to have to come in behind you as well, it's now a foot race to the front.
You make a very good point. By deepening that attack in that flank, they're doing exactly what they need to do. As we can see, OP BHB using those supplies from that we called out earlier to keep pressure on Call Trail and push from a different vector. So we'll see how BR1 defense is going to adjust to this, as they are countered currently. But we do have some more spawns by BR1. They're holding that. But because they did lose this western approach, OPBHB now has a northern approach down on the Call Trail, which they have not had before. So we will see how that plays into it. We will see if BR1 is able to get the pressure on North Pass before that flank is exposed and used. Great artillery. It looks like BR1 is back on the guns, as the artillery is putting pressure back on the defenders of the bunker complex. As Hawkman is running, Alex Scribbs trying to find him. Hawkman takes cover, takes him out. History Builder is trying to take out an OP or Garrison. Looks like he was able to. We'll see if he's able to clear out Alex. History Builder not even realizing he's there. Call Trail is falling currently. We will jump over there if it gets to a third and see what's going on, as BR1 is trying to assert themselves on this southern and southeastern approach. And let's go take a look at Call, as we're at about a quarter. It just got contested. As we can see, OPBHB doing a fantastic job of not using one vector there, spreading all the way around, trying to encircle Call Trail and prevent BR1 from asserting defensive dominance. The BR1 defense doing a good job of slowly clearing them out. It's a Bilbo working on trying to find this OPBHB Mars rover. We'll see if he ends up finding him. Well, BR1 has their full defensive squad now, 2 defensive squads. I imagine the Flex is falling back as well, trying to prevent the cap there. As the fight for North Pass has worked its way into the bunker complex, up onto the hill, as OPBHB doing a fantastic job of holding that as well. It does appear that OPBHB has abandoned their western approach, so if BR1 is able to get a Flex squad spawned somewhere over here, they would be able to push in relatively easily, possibly take out a spawn or two. So that we will see how that works out for OPBHB, because they are putting more resources on the attack now, as BR1 did have to pull back and put 2 squads on Call Trail for defense. Shammer will almost at the 45-minute mark. Do you see momentum changing any time now?
Well, what BR1's got to do is they're going to have to figure a way to be able to hold that with one squad. If they can get the asses back on that hill and do that deep flank, they'll have a shot. The window is still there. I don't think they realize that OBBPH is giving them that wide flank. They're obsessed with going down that wooded area, and it's not working. But if they go from the hill and they work down from the bunker complex and go wide down in, that's their attack vector. That's what's going to get them their victory. So they're going to have to figure a way to do it with one squad. But if they can't get that done, the window's closing real soon here.
OPBHB is doing a great job of forcing assets to stay back on call trail. This BR1 now even has an armor asset there. Ocelot, Jerbear, and Lancer doing what they need to do to prevent the loss of call trail. And OPBHB doing a really good job of controlling this hillside and the bunker complex as well. So BR1 is going to have to find a different attack vector. They're going to have to go wide, and they may even have to come up from Hill 15 if they want to have any chance right now at North Pass, judging off of the defensive positioning of OPBHB. However, it does look like OPBHB is pushing some of the units that were defending up the river into the squares for Call Trail, as they are starting to cap now. As we can see here today, we're able to push the BR1 defenders that were there in the middle off of those positions. And so BR1 defense is going to have to now clear through the middle if they have any hope of holding Call Trail, as it is still falling to OPBHB. At this point, BR1, there's a big spawn right there. BR1 might want to just bring everybody back to Call Trail, reset, and readjust at what's going on, because right now OPHB is outmaneuvering and outflanking BR1 in their movements towards Call Trail, which is almost halfway capped, as BR1 now is having to flood everybody into this point to prevent from falling 4-1 with 48 minutes left. This could be a key moment if OPBHB is able to take Call Trail. It is going to be very difficult for BR1 to take Call back and get North Pass unless there is a large blunder by OPBHB by overextending. Right now, BR1 is recapping Call Trail. They had to bring out a large number of their forces, though, and redeploy. What they need to do, once they cap it, they need to clean sweep it. They need to push all the way through the area, find the garrisons, find the OPs, clear them out, reset, and then start pushing into North Pass.
Yeah, pretty soon it's gonna be hands across Hurtgen. They're gonna have to go, 10, 15 meter wide spread and go for those OP pops and definitely root out those garrisons.
And here comes a fantastic strategic drop there. However, it just missed a Sherman. It did damage, but did not take it out. OPBHB doing a great job working their way mid between Call. They are hoping to take Call and then push right on to reserve. This is definitely going to be a key moment, as if BR1 can solidify Call right now with the overextension of OPBHB, they might be able to sneak into North Pass. So we're just going to take a quick peek at North Pass. North Pass has three OPBHB defenders on it currently. If BR1 and the Panther has moved closer, if BR1 is able to hold north and get a spawn up in this area, they might have a chance to steal North Pass from OPBHB. However, they are fully occupied now trying to hold Call, as we can see a full spread of the entire BR1 team now pushing from the south, trying to push into Call. They're going to have a lot of work to remove everything, as here's another squad working in from the north for BR1. North Pass is lightly defended. If they have any spawns, which I do not know if they do, if they have any garrisons in an attacking position, now would be the time for those boys to redeploy. We will see what happens. They have solidified their hold on Call Trail. OPBHB members are still sitting in the middle there, harassing as the BR1 defense is pushing their way through. But as we can see, OPBHB still has quite a few bodies in the area. And because of those bodies, they have started a cap again. These squads need to move from the trees into this hard cap, as that is what is giving OPBHB the advantage. That has been the name of the game for this entire round for BR1, is they are not getting bodies on the hard cap, and OPBHB are getting less bodies into their hard cap and putting that cap pressure on, or keeping the defensive pressure on. So fantastic job by OPBHB knowing what a hard cap can do for you, while BR1 is struggling to dislodge them once they get in that hard cap, as Drazic takes out one machine gunner trying to find a position. But OPBHB now just spreading all through this hard cap, solidifying themselves as they are maintaining their cap pressure. Does appear that BR1 has done what they need to do and cleared out the Call Trail Reserve at No Man's Land, and they're now pushing into the area, and they are retaking Call Trail. But there's a large spawn. There's a squad spawn there by OPBHB. And here comes a bombing run. Just going to clear out a large number of BR1. I took 3, 4, 5. Not as many as I thought. However, that is giving the advantage for OPBHB now, as they have 7 on the hard cap, and BR1 now has to push into that hard cap to prevent this from falling. We're at just under 44 minutes in the match, with OPBHB threatening to take the lead 4-1, and BR1 struggling to hold Call Trail now, as it does appear that OPBHB has sent a majority of their forces to push Call Trail. Again, now would be a time for BR1 to try to get something sneaky in the North Pass, but just the way that OPBHB is doing things, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do this, as they are... OPBHB has Call Trail 2/3 capped. And the reason they're able to keep this cap pressure with less members in BR1 is because they do hold that hard point, that hard cap there. Now would be the time, if BR1 has it, to drop a bombing run right across Call Trail and try to dislodge those defenders. The OPBHB defenders there sitting in this bunker complex. As OPBHB is over 3/4 capped, they're working to take Call Trail right now. If BR1 does not get bodies there, they will take it, and it appears that BR1 did get the bodies in just in time. But now they're going to have the hard time of clearing OPBHB out, as OPBHB does have the advantage right now of maintaining bodies in that cap. There are 4 in the hard point. And here comes a bombing run. We'll see if it does what it needs to do. It looks like it just missed the OPBHB positions. OPBHB now is capping again. It is contested. It's back in BR1's favor. OPBHB's tenacity on these hard points, on the hard caps, are what is winning them this match. They just get bodies in, and they find their defensible position, and they sit there. They do not expose themselves. They hold those points, and with that, BR1 is saving this cap by the skin of their teeth, as they are slowly removing the threat in the hard cap. But in this defensive battle, it does appear that OPBHB's gunplay is taking the advantage, as they're able to take out multiple BR1 defenders before they go down, as we do see a spawn from OPBHB on a well-placed OP or garrison. as BR1 is collapsing on the hard point. They're collapsing where they need to collapse. However, 40 minutes left. If our predictions ring true, Shammer, this is going to fall to OPBHB for the victory. We're past 45 minutes, and they do hold the midpoint. But, as we have seen in a majority of the matches, they have come down to the last 10 minutes. So if BR1 is able to secure Call Trail, clear it out, and get an assault squad pushing North Pass, they may create an exciting ending and go against our prediction of the 45-minute mark. So we will see how that goes in the next 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, BR1 does have a taste for the theatrics when it comes down to the last, the last minute or two of the matches lately. That is a given fact.
But OPBHB is just, they're winning the individual gun battles that they need to win, and that is giving them the advantage here at Call Trail. So we will see how this plays out as BR1 is struggling to get their squads into the hard cap. They do almost have Call Trail secured. But once they secure it, once they take bodies off the point, they're gonna start losing it unless they can clear out a majority of OPBHB that's in this area. We will see if they're able to do that. As we do have a contest at North Pass, and we have 3 BR1 members coming through the western side here. This is a squad led by none other than God Emperor for BR1, trying to push into North Pass and take advantage of everything going on at Call Trail. They have started a cap. It was just contested. Call Trail is contested as well. 2 OPBHB members on North Pass. We have a squad leader and a marksman, and 3 BR1 members, 2 AT and a squad leader. However, Call Trail is falling fast. Let's get back over there and see what's going on. As OPBHB was able to, again, they are tenacious after that midpoint. They were able to force get their attacking forces into this hard cap and apply that cap pressure. And BR1 is struggling to push them out of this area yet again. There goes an OP for BR1 down on the left-hand side. As OPBHB is almost 50% capped on Call Trail. We will see how this goes as BR1 is just spread throughout the area trying to clear out where they need to, but they need to concentrate on this OPBHB force here in the hard cap. OPBHB 2/3 capped on Call Trail. The contest over at North Pass is now diminished. BR1 now capping. There's another contest at North Pass. Call Trail still falling to OPBHB. BR1 really is going to have to get bodies into this point as their OPHB is 3/4 capped. The contest at North Pass doesn't matter right now, especially if the loss of Call Trail happens, which it looks like it might. Again, right here at the tail end, we will see what happens. And Call Trail is going to fall to OPBHB as they were able to keep those bodies in that hard point and secure that position. And they did get bodies behind as we have the spotter and marksman, the 2 recon squads, capping reserve stations. So now BR1 is going to have to fall all the way back and defend from their midpoint with 36 minutes left. As we have a large defensive spawn pushing in. They are recapping currently. However, they are at a disadvantage. They're going to have to push in. We will see if OPBHB has any garrisons in the area for them to forward deploy to. We do see one OPBHB squad pushing in from there, and it is falling. OPBHB, again, they're in that hard cap. That is giving much more cap pressure than what BR1 is doing in the outside. So they are capping. They are about a third capped. 35 minutes left. OPBHB is forcing the issue by sitting in the hard cap, as we do have a squad leader for BR1 spawning midpoint and pushing forward. OPBHB is almost halfway capped. 35 minutes left. We will see if BR1 is going to be able to take control of reserve stations, as they have started recapping now. So great response by BR1, but great position by OPBHB to get that cap almost halfway in their favor with two recon squads. As we can see, OPBHB now trying to find their way to get up there, and BR1 is having to fall back. And there's no pressure on call trail for BR1. So like I was talking about earlier, it's very difficult on Hurtgen to get a blitz going, which is what BR1 is going to need if they want to win this match. They're going to have to get a blitz from reserve to call and down to North Pass. It's going to be very difficult, as this map is not very conducive to that. As we see BR1 now solidly controlling reserve station, and as I say that, it was contested, and OPBHB is capping again by maintaining their positions in the hard cap. BR1 has been using just cap pressure, which is being within the 4 squares around the cap point, which does give you the ability to cap it. However, the hard point, that circle on the map, as I pull it up, those circles, those provide you a much stronger presence when it comes to capping. And OPBHB has been exploiting that this entire match. They've been doing a fantastic job of keeping limited numbers of defenders or attackers in those positions, pushing that cap pressure against BR1 and forcing BR1 to dislodge them, as BR1 has not been able to dislodge them off those hard points yet. We have 33 minutes left. BR1 is going to have to come up with something if they wish to push all the way through. We're going to take a look at Call Trail, see how it's going over here for BR1 and OPBHB defenders. Again, as we can see, the OPBHB defenders are sitting in that hard cap, forcing BR1 to come in and dislodge them, which BR1 has not been able to do this entire match. So, Shammer, what, in your opinion, what does BR1 have to do to turn this match in their favor?
Well, one, I haven't seen any armor in the last 15 minutes, so I don't know where their armor play is. So they're going to have to get armor re-involved in the match, and re-involved very quickly. Two, what they're going to have to do is, they might have to pull artillery off and throw them into a squad. So they're going to have to throw extra bodies at them. And then three, they're going to have to probably go do an all-out blitz. They're nearing to the point where they're going to have to throw everybody at everything they have at one point and just march down to the next point after next point. It's almost like it's almost like it's got to be that way.
Yeah, I mean, the only way that they're going to... I agree with you. The only way that they're going to be able to do this is if they leave one squad in the hard cap defending, push everybody else at the next point, clear it, leave a squad defending that hard point, have the previous defensive unit redeploy to a forward garrison, and just leapfrog their way up. But OPBHB is doing a good job preventing that by their garrisons and OP placement for their spawns. As we can see, OPBHB is doing a fantastic job of sitting in those hard points and then pushing squads out to the perimeters and preventing BR1 assaults. As we can see, BR1 clearing up through the woods, trying to take out any OPs and garrisons that they can find to give themselves a position to attack. Now, if I was the commander for BR1, I would possibly think of a airhead down here along the river somewhere, try to get a back spawn, try to change the vector here, flip the map on them, as we do have an OPHB piece of armor here working its way down to support the assault on reserve station, with the BR1 armor over here holding down this flank reserve station, and a full squad just spawned here for OPBHB on this flank, holding down that flank, trying to take shots at that armor. So while BR1 is attempting to push through, they have obviously missed some spawn points, and that's hurting them, as OPBHB is maintaining pressure on reserve station, not letting the BR1 teams release and push out.
And their armor just got thrown up in smoke.
Yeah, the armor play by OPBHB has been fantastic this entire round. As they have not been super aggressive with it, they have been using it more reserved, but it has been very effective. They are now pushing this Panther, who just took a hit from... who's chasing him down? By Thick Cut Bacon onto 2, chasing down that Panther. As we can see, the difference in the defensive strategies, there's nobody on reserve station for BR1. And there's at least one on-call trail at all times for OPBHB. And OPBHB, as they have a squad leader pushing into the hard cap, have started capping reserve station yet again with the help of their armor, as Thick Cut Bacon was taken out. So just under 30 minutes, OPBHB 1/4 capped on reserve station. We will see if BR1's able to dislodge them, but with that armor moving in there and these squads freely moving on the northern side of the point, BR1 did just contest with that large spawn, but they're still losing the point even with that large spawn. They're going to have to get bodies into that hard cap, dislodge, take out that armor, as OPBHB is almost 50% capped on reserve station, and it is going quickly. There it is. There is the 50% mark right there, and it is dropping very fast, as BR1 is struggling to get bodies into the point for any type of defense. BR1 takes out the spotters on the hard cap there, but with the cap pressure that OPBHB is putting on from the northern side, they are maintaining cap pressure. They are now pushing. We are at 3/4. BR1 has reversed it. It is now contested yet again. BR1 is now recapping, as OPBHB is bringing in a second Panther into the point. And BR1 is still maintaining defensive status on it. But 2 Panthers for OPBHB now supporting their infantry. As we do see BR1 defenders getting into the hard point, which is reversing this. 27 minutes left in the match. Looks like OPBHB is going all out to end this as soon as they can. And they are starting to cap again. That's a 50% gong, and OPBHB is maintaining cap pressure. They are capping 26 minutes and 40 seconds. We see a nice squad deployment there for OPBHB. Thick Cut Bacon gets a rocket into one of those Panthers. And BR1 is now taking the point back. Now it is going back to OPBHB. This is going back and forth as individuals get killed. But rocket just missed the armor there, as OPBHB is 3/4 capped, with looks like 2 full squads in the hard cap against a 1 BR1 squad in the hard cap. OPHB is pushing everything they have now into this point, as we can see more assault forces streaming down the hill, trying to maintain this cap pressure as BR1 is attempting to dislodge them. over 3/4 capped, over 2/3 capped. 25, just under 25 minutes. Here we go. It looks like OPBHB is going to take this. And nope, BR1 just reversed it at the very last minute. There go. They have a lot to cap, as it appears that we do have a possible bombing run coming in. Here's a bombing run right across a hard cap by, I would imagine, OPBHB's commander. As that did not dislodge enough of BR1 defenders to give OPHB the ability to cap that. As we still have one Panther just gets hit again. Both Panthers for OPBHB are still up. They're in this little defilade. The one below us just took 2 more rockets. It is very well damaged. OPBHB is now capping. Just got reversed again by BR1. This is just a slugfest down here on this cap, as BR1 is attempting to take out these Panthers, as these Panthers are just eating bazooka rounds. And sitting down in this little defilade, they're pretty well protected. Fantastic job by that armor unit. Both those armor units knowing the terrain and using the terrain to their advantage. As another rocket hits the Panther again. These Panthers are still up. There goes one Panther. BR1's able to take out one of the Panthers. Looks like we have an NG attempting to get a satchel down on the other. I don't know if he got it down. Takes another rocket. BR1 is now recovering reserve station, as OPHB is streaming down the hillsides trying to get their cap pressure back with just under 24 minutes. BR1 is going. They're going to have to get some kind of blitz going if they wish to win this in any way, shape, or form. OPBHB committing all of their assets onto reserve station, trying to end this match. BR1, all of BR1's assets are defending. As we can see back on call trail, there's only one defender on call trail for OPBHB. That is that squad leader there sitting in the hard cap. Bet he has his feet up reading a book right now, as he knows there's no threat. As BR1 now is pre-capping reserve station, and they are 2/3 capped.
Now would be the time for the push. If you're ever gonna pull it off, now would be the time.
A sneaky airhead behind call trail, get an assault squad, get in that hard cap, push the point. Instead, but as we can see, BR1 defenders going down left and right down in reserve station, as BR1 still has not recapped it completely. They're about to, though. BR1 has completely defended reserve station. Now we will see what they decide to do. They're going to have to get something going. Either a squad leader and a supply truck pushing up to get a Gary down, or an airhead behind call trail. As we can see, the OPBHB squad leader changing positions a little bit, still trying to see if there's going to be any assault from BR1, which BR1 is going to have to figure out a way to get behind OPBHB. They're not going to be able to push up this hill. There are too many OPBHB members there. They're doing a fantastic job holding that. The BR1, as we can see now, they're spread out along this trench line defending reserve station. And OPBHB maintaining a very good front against them as well, as we do have German supplies falling on the southern flank for OPBHB. We do have a group of BR1. It looks like the assault units are moving up this hillside, possibly trying to get in a position for an assault, with just over 21 minutes remaining in the round. We will see. Is this... Looks like Allied supplies going down, possibly trying to get a garrison down. I mean, BR1 is getting enough assets moving, so we will see if they're able to get some other type of support. See if they're going to be able to get a OP. As we do see this defending squad lead for OPHB moving up to those supplies with no BR1 Squad leader in the vicinity. No garrison is going to go up. We will see if BR1 is able to work their way up to call trail to do that. As OPBHB doing a fantastic job of maintaining the pressure on the front line and keeping BR1 tucked into reserve station. We do see BR1 attempting to move off a little bit, trying to clear the woods out in front of them. And there is the BR1 Sherman taking lots of hits, damage, being chased by 3 and an AT gun. OPBHB does have an AT gun stationed on the hillside, waiting to get a shot on that Sherman. That's a great placement for an AT gun, able to fire down into reserve station. We're just under 20 minutes left. OPBHB 4, BR1 1. Sherman taking yet another hit as it is trying to retreat. Let's go take a look on the north of Call Trail, see where this push for BR1 there it is. Assault squads trying to push their way up the wooded hillside, trying to get in a position to assault Call Trail, but they have very little time to do that. And they're getting bogged down by 2, 3, 4 OPBHB defenders. This assault squad for BR1 is really going to have to start pushing up if they wish to do anything, instead of getting bogged down as they have been. They just need to push up the hill, get to that radio station, and then push down into Call Trail. And if I was them, I would also send 3, a squad leader and 2 others over to North Pass, because if they wish to do any type of blitz, that's how it's going to have to happen. However, OPBHB is contesting and pushing the hard cap. BR1 has pushed that assault back. But OPBHB maintaining the pressure.
I'm just wondering when that airhead's going to drop.
If it is.
If it is at all.
BR1 tends not to, in the past matches, we have not seen a lot of usage of airheads. But we also have not seen a lot of usage of flares, and we're seeing flares on this match. As we do have a squad here to the south of Call Trail rallying up to push in. However, the defenders at reserve station are really going to have to get their act together, as OPBHB is pushing pressure, and they are capping. They are about a quarter capped. Still no pressure by BR1 on Call Trail, as OPBHB is pushing forces down into reserve station. BR1 is recapping reserve station with what they have, and there's another spawn there to provide more defenders. And this BR1 defense, or BR1 assault squad that looked promising on the southern side, is getting countered by Brenemy from BHB. So great movement and flexibility there. As we do see here a Lux for OPBHB. No, that is not a Lux. That is a Panther. Yep, that is getting in position. Another piece of armor there, as we can see OPBHB taking out a majority of, just clearing out the entire assault force here from BR1 that was trying to move up that hill. So now BR1 again is forced back into reserve station to defend it. We have 16 and a half, just over 16 and a half minutes left, with OPBHB keeping BR1 pinned in the last point.
They say once you clear out this bush, right through the dead woods you go. You have no choice at this point.
Yeah, they are going to have to do something big.
Now's your time to move.
Yep. And BR1 is going to have to come up with something here. They're going to have to figure out what's going on. They're going to have to get some forces push if they wish to do any type of cap. If they wish to even push it to a 3-2, they're going to have to find a way to defend the hard cap with less than their entire force, and they're going to have to find some flank that's open and get the pressure up to OPBHB, because right now OPBHB is controlling the tempo of the match. They're controlling all the avenues of approach with very few numbers, as we do have one BR1 squad lead trying to work his way up the woods. He just gets taken down. That has been the story of the match so far, is OPBHB with less defenders and less areas are holding larger squads at bay from BR1. And here comes a bombing run right across reserve station. A lot of BR1 was undercover. It did not affect them that much. With just under 15 minutes left, BR1 still pinned into reserve station. We will see how this ends up for them. However, if they, like you were saying, if they do not get some type of movement, if they don't get an airhead, if they don't get something, they're not going to be able to turn this around. As a majority of the BR1 forces are being pinned in and having to hold reserve station. There is a flanking spawn by an OPBHB assault force trying to find their way around BR1. As we do see BR1 pushing out of the defenses a little bit, forming a secondary line. However, just under 14 minutes. BR1, if they don't, in my opinion, if they don't move here in the next minute and a half, 2 minutes, and put pressure on Call Trail, it's all but over. As they need time to move, and if they want to win, that's 2 points, 5 minutes a point. That's a very big ask. It's going to have to be, as we do have a unit here pushing through, it is going to have to be BR1 dropping an airhead at one of these points and getting a spawn, or just taking a squad leader and having them sprint all the way to North Pass if they have any chance. They're going to have to get a garrison down quick at North Pass, and they're going to have to capture Call here. We will see if they're able to do it, as we do have this assaulting force moving up, harassing that armor. Take a quick look over at North Pass. North Pass is empty.
Now there is that garrison that's still sitting there, if I'm not mistaken.
The garrison that was there is gone.
So it is completely open now.
Unless there's a garrison that we do not see, it does look like it might be open. However, BR1 is going to have to get bodies there. And they are not able to release out of reserve station, as they are moving into Call Trail now. But if I was a commander, I would drop an airhead on North Pass. Let this assault squad, who is now capping Call Trail, cap it. And then have defenders, once Call Trail is capped, redeploy on the airhead at North Pass. However, there has not been such an airhead, and I have not seen supplies drop. So if you do not take advantage of this positioning, they're not going to be able to pull this out. So BR1 is going to have to get uncomfortably aggressive and get some type of spawn point down on North Pass while OPBHB is concentrated on the defensive Call Trail and still trying to take reserve station. So we will see if BR1 is able to do that, as they are almost halfway capped on Call Trails. There is a spawn of defenders for OPBHB, and as we can see, their armor's falling back. It looks like OPBHB is collapsing on Call Trail. So now is the time for BR1 to release, as they do have a squad in their rear taking out garrisons as well. But now is the time for BR1 to release, get some type of spawn on North Pass. They have been contested at Call Trail, but they have the numerical advantage. They just need to get in there and do what they need to do, get more bodies into that hard cap, and copy what OPBHB has been doing the entire match.
And there is that one BR1 guy right there on the right there on the right side of the screen. If he can take off, sprint, and go the opposite direction, nobody knows he's there. There's your opportunity.
With just over 10 minutes left, we will see what happens. But OPBHB doing a great job of getting back into this defense, collapsing on, and retaking the point from BR1. Again, OPBHB playing the hard cap game. They're forcing their bodies onto the hard cap, which is giving the advantage as there is a contest over at reserve station. And OPBHB is now capping reserve station in the hard cap with two bodies. And so BR1 is now going to have to fight 2 points at once, as they are recapping reserve station. But they are unable to take out the 2 there. As OPBHB has solidified their position on Call Trail. So BR1 at this point has to go all out. They have to bring everybody up to Call Trail if they wish to do anything on this match. And they need to get a body or 2 on North Pass to start a back cap if they're able to. But however, OPBHB doing a good job of staying on reserve station. They're now capping it again, as the BR1 assault force was taken out by OPBHB. And there they are, sitting in that hard cap yet again, doing what they need to do, harassing the armor as they were trying to get into armor, taking out OPs, doing a great job playing behind the line as BR1 is recapping reserve station with 9 minutes left. Unless something drastic changes, it does appear that OPBHB is going to take this and move on to the semifinals after a long match with BR1. But BR1 does like the last minute theatrics, so we will see what happens. However, judging off the match and the gunplay from OPBHB and how they have overmatched BR1 from the start, I believe that this is going to go in OPBHB's favor.
Oh, absolutely. BR1 looking like they've been out of sorts since that 45-minute marker that I called earlier at the start of the match. They had good plans, but once they got pulled off of North Pass there, they just they've been in struggle bus ever since. And I think it's came down to the lack of willingness to use offensive airheads. I haven't seen them drop any supplies. I've only seen one bombing run so far this match.
Well, they've been dropping supplies all over the map, but they've been dropping in positions, and a airstrike just took out, I believe, a piece of BHB armor. It did. BR1 is recapping reserve station. But what it comes down to is when they're dropping supplies, they're dropping them, and there's no squad leaders around because the squad leaders have been taken out. So they're not able to capitalize on those supply drops. And you're right, I haven't seen an airhead once. I mean, airheads are iffy because they're seen, and then there's the spawn timer. However, if you put them in a good position, they can be very valuable. As we can see, OPBHB having bodies in a hard point yet again, holding Call Trail, 7 minutes left. And BR1 is trying to push up. As we can see, full squads are getting bogged down by 1 or 2 bodies. You can see right here on this corner, on this piece, there's one squad leader there, and the BR1 members, instead of just running past or running to, killing, and pushing forward, they're just getting taken out. So BR1 is going to have to figure out how to improve their gunplay in the future for whatever tournament they decide to go into next, as OPBHB does have bodies down in the air, now capping reserve station again. And BR1 may not have, I'm going to look at the map real quick, they do not have any spawn points, any OPs. So all the OPs were taken out by OPBHB and that squad that went behind, which is going to be a huge detriment to the defense as they only have an OP to fall back on. We have one OP there, one OP there. They have 3 OPs to fall back on. We will see how this works as OPBHB is a third cap on reserve station with just under 6 minutes left, and BR1 not applying any pressure to call trail. There it is. Right when I say it, BR1 did contest, but that contest did not last long. They are not capping call trail. OPBHB is at 50% now. There's the gong. 50% capped on reserve station. 5.5 minutes left. BR1 has started capping call trail with 5 minutes left. However, the advantage in this cap race is definitely on OPBHB side, as we can see such a large number of them stuck behind the line. And BR1 having to fall back. They are over 2/3, 3/4 capped, as BR1 is about a quarter capped on call trail. OPBHB doing a great job of changing their attack vectors and working their way behind and attacking from the rear and taking out all of BR1's spawn points as they are about to cap this. This is going to be it, everybody. BR1 loses to OPBHB 5-0. Great job by OPBHB changing their attack vectors, having that great defensive stands where they needed to. Great job for both teams. Good luck to OPBHB coming out into the finals next week. With that, BR1 now is done with the APAI tournament. So great job there. They did a fantastic job coming out of pool play, taking the second seed in theirs. It just was not enough this week. Next week will be the finals between GBI and OPBHB, who were the top teams in their pool, in Pool A. Best of luck to both those teams. Again, to the APA, thank you for the opportunity to play in the cast. BR1, I know, really enjoyed it. And to all the fans out there who've been watching, thank you again for watching and joining us. Take a look at Blue Rose Jelly or Nopers or one of the others who may be casting the finals between GBI and OPHB. Catch and see how the end of the tournament worked and ran. So, end of the tournament. Shammer, what are your final thoughts?
I think it was a good body of effort that BR1 put in. You could see that they were getting better each and every single week. It's a shame this one ended 5-0, but they're virtually playing up the last couple of weeks competition. You can see that statistically we're better than them. It's nothing to hang your hand on. I mean, they should be very proud of what they accomplished this tournament. It was a very fun tournament. I had absolute fun time co-hosting it with you, Matador, and I look forward to be back next year.
Yep. All right. Again, everybody watching, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday or Monday if you're in Oceania. And we will catch you next time for BR1. This is Matador and Shammer. Thank you guys for watching.